Telling you all the excitement and building up for that game that's coming, right? All of these things are to say that I think this week, that's what the text is trying to do. It's trying to build excitement, to build something about God's mission in the world that we live in. Well, this week I think we have a lot of things to get fired up about, to get excited about, to participate in at the ministry of God right here in Immanuel. We have all the different services. Congratulations, you made it to one. You should be excited about that. We have the youth and all the things that they do with Amy. We have the Stephen Ministers. That's what this weekend is somewhat about, is the Stephen Ministry program that happens right here. We can get excited about that. We can get fired up about all the service opportunities that we have here that are coming our way on the day of service, which will be on September 7th. We get to go out and be a part of our community. And then we have the Bellevue Food Pantry right in our own backyard. You walk out that door and it's there. Something to be excited about, to participate in. We need to get fired up about the giving that we do here at Immanuel. You remember last week when I gave you that challenge? Does anybody remember what it was? Great, okay, it's tithing, okay? Tithing is where you take 10% of the money that comes to you during the month or the week or whatever it is, and then you give that 10% to the mission that God is doing. Now, Lutherans, we're kind of bad at tithing because we're like 4% givers, okay, or 2% givers. And the challenge was, take whatever the remaining tithe is. So if you're giving 2%, take that 8%. Don't give it to me, I don't need a new car, I already have one, okay? Take that remaining 8% and invest it in some other ministry that's happening. Whether that's the Bellevue Food Pantry, whether that's Habitat for Humanity, whether that's Table Grace Cafe, which we supported during Lent last year. All of those things. But it could be a scholarship to a school. It doesn't matter what it is. But we want you to invest that over the next 2 months. To write your tithe, and then at the end of the 2 months, what are we going to do? In October, I said we're going to talk about it. I want to hear your stories. I want to hear how your life has changed by doing something that faithful. By doing something where you invest in the community. So that's something that we can get fired up about. And the Stephen Ministry program. We can get fired up about you because what do? You come and you walk along. And I'm talking to you because you got the two Stephen Ministers standing in front of you. Stephen Ministry comes and there are people that walk alongside you in your faith life. When it hurts, when you're down, when you need someone to be there, to be a listening voice, a friend. That's what they're there for. They have many people who are willing to listen. It's confidential. I encourage people to use it. It's a great ministry opportunity. Now, to get back a little bit to the text that we had, in the Hebrews text, we had this idea of this cloud of witnesses, right? And that seems kind of strange. Are they talking like the cloud that I store my iTunes in? No, not really. They're talking about the cloud of witnesses. Go ahead and look to the right. It's okay, do this. Look to your right, then be this way. Then look to your left. Okay. Look behind you. Look in front of you. All the people that you just looked at are the cloud of witnesses that they're talking about in Hebrews. You are part of that cloud. The acolytes up here are part of the cloud. The people at the last service were part of that cloud. The people that come on Saturday are part of that cloud. The people that aren't even here are part of that cloud. That's something to be excited about. People who are willing to be in the ministry with you. So I have a question for you. Have you ever noticed that when you're at an event, let's say a sporting event, and the sporting event happens to be a football game, and everybody's wearing red for some strange reason? Right? So you're at a Huskers football game, and everybody there is really excited. How easy is it for you to get excited? It's pretty easy, right? Get caught up in it, great player, whatever it is, they're excited, so that means I'm excited, which means the person next to me is excited. Now how about the opposite of that? People are really reserved and quiet. How easy is it for you to get really excited and loud? when everyone else is quiet. It's pretty hard, right? It's pretty hard to be the one that starts it. It's pretty hard to get excited when nobody else seems to have the energy. Well, I think that's exactly the lesson we need for today. To get excited about the ministry that God has going on. Because if you're excited, now look to your right. It's this way I go. Look to your left. Look behind you. Look to the person in front of you. If you're excited, it makes it easier for the person next to you to be excited. It makes it easier for the person behind you to be excited. It makes it easier for the person in front of you to be excited. To get fired up about what's going on in their lives. Okay, well that's great. I can hear some of you thinking back there like, that's great, Vicar Caleb. The Hebrews text and probably the Jeremiah text say that. But what about this gospel text? You seem to be ignoring it completely. Well, hold on, we're getting there. What about this message that Jesus has about division in our lives? What about that division? That seems kind of odd, right? That's not something to be really fired up about. Yay, we're going to be divided. That doesn't make a lot of sense. Exactly. Nobody wants to be divided. What does this scene have to do with being fired up? What can conflict serve for being fired up in our lives of faith? Well, I think that's an interesting question for us to ponder today. And I think that the answer is this. Jesus came to do something in the world. Jesus came to get you fired up about something in the world. About a completely new way of living. About turning your life around. About redemption. It's completely radical to the way that we've been living before. To bring about something that is not easy to achieve. So let me ask you this question. Is it easy being a Christian today? Do you go home like, man, I'm so glad I'm a Christian because it's easy. I get my check in the mail, it's great. Does that happen? No? I know for myself personally, it is not easy being a Christian today. It is not easy living in a culture which tells you to take more, to want more. To push other people out of the way so that I can get mine first. To think about me, number one. It is not easy being a Christian today. American cultural idealism about wealth and power and status, all of these things run contrary to the teachings that Jesus gave his followers. So what is Jesus really talking about when he says he comes to bring division? Well, we are called to give where the world tells us to take. We are called to serve where the world tells us to assert our own power or authority. We are called to give, to lift up others, instead of stepping on them to get where we want to go. This way of living is one that's going to cause some of your friends and family to look at you like you're a crazy person. Right? When I told my family I wanted to be a pastor, they looked at me and they're like, Caleb, you're crazy. Why would you want to do that? You're never going to make any money. Okay. Caleb, you're a crazy person. Why would you want to do that? You're going to help people all the time. When are you going to have time for yourself? Okay, exactly. Caleb, as a pastor, you're just kind of there supporting other people. Yep. Jesus calls us to live a different life. And it's not just for pastors, people like Pastor Lowell or myself. It's for all of us. We're all called to give. We're all called to love. We're all called to serve. We're all called to forgive. That's the contrary way to live. And your family or your friends might look at you like, well, that's crazy. Why would you give up on that grudge, that anger that you hold that is so just? Because I'm called to live a different way. That's where I think the division is going to come from. Because we are called not to live the American ideal of wealth, more, and trying to accumulate. But to serve and to give to our brothers and sisters. So then, what is the good news for us this week? I mean, what is it that you're really supposed to take away from my sermon? This would be the part where the kids write down their sermon notes. Well, I think for us, we can get encouraged. We can be fired up about what God is doing in our lives. That's the first part. To get fired up about how God is taking part in our lives, in my life and in your life. Now, like I encouraged you last week to get fired up about the tithing thing and finding a place to give that tithe, there's another piece to that now. So my second challenge for you, so this is week number 2, second challenge before we move into the 8 weeks of doing this, I want you to get fired up about it. I want you to be excited and I want you to talk to people about what you're doing. I'm excited to be a part of the ministry here. It's really easy, right? God's work, our hands. Try it again.
God's work, our hands.
I don't know, is that loud enough? No. God's work, our hands.
God's work, our hands.
It's easy to get fired up about something. So wherever you're taking that tithe, right, the remainder of that, whatever you're giving it to, get fired up and excited about it. And then in October, when we come back and we celebrate at the end of this 2-month venture, I want to hear how you've changed your life. I want to hear how the world is different because of what you've started. You started first with the tithe, and now you're getting excited about it. And each week we'll try and have a new challenge for you. So I leave you with this. Get fired up. We'll try it one more time. Ready?
God's work, our hands.
God's work, our hands. I invite you now to stand as you are able as we